Hello everyone. So today we'll be taking up the daily quiz for the date 21st March 2024. So before we get into the actual daily quiz, so there's a very small announcement. So that is regarding the National Scholarship Test that would be conducted this weekend, and all the details for it is given in the description box below. So now let us get into the first question. So the first question is from the article that is Karnataka has banned certain coloring agents. So from this article we'll be taking up the question. Consider the following statement regarding Rhodamine-B. Rhodamine-B was in use from quite a long time. So statement 1. Rhodamine-B is a type of fluorescent dye that is commonly used in the textile industry for dyeing fabric. Is it true? Rhodamine-B, is it used in dyeing textile? Is it true? What do you think? It was in use for almost say last 2-3 weeks. Is it true? Is the statement true? The statement is absolutely true. So by the way, what is Rhodamine-B? So Rhodamine-B is this dyeing agent. It's like the pink color dyeing agent. So if you consider this pink shirt, probably even this pink shirt would have been dyed using this Rhodamine-B. So we use Rhodamine-B, which is a coloring agent to dye the textile fabrics. So this statement 1 is absolutely right. So what about statement 2? Statement 2, Rhodamine-B is classified as non-toxic substances and has no adverse effect on the human health or environment. What do you think? Does Rhodamine-B has any effect on the human health and the environment? Yes, it does has. That's the reason why your Karnataka government has banned the usage of this Rhodamine-B. So this Rhodamine-B is highly toxic to the humans. In terms of Rhodamine-B is considered as a carcinogenic agent in the sense it can cause cancer. And where do you find this Rhodamine-B? So recently what happened, Karnataka government took sample of this cotton candy. So the pink colored cotton candy, and most of the pink colored cotton candy had this Rhodamine-B, and this Rhodamine-B is highly toxic for humans. And for the next time when you have cotton candy, mainly the pink color one, be very cautious. There are very high chances that it would be manufactured using Rhodamine-B, which is a carcinogenic agent. In a sense it causes cancer. But however, does the Rhodamine-B has any environmental impact as put in the statement? Yes, it does have environmental impact. So how does it have environmental impact? The Rhodamine-B, so basically it is very difficult to get degraded in the environment. It doesn't degrade so easily. So as a reason, what happens, this Rhodamine-B enters into the food chain. So it enters into the food chain. Since it doesn't get degraded easily in the tissues, so it persists in the food chain. So it also affects the environment as well. So this statement is absolutely wrong. Rhodamine-B is highly toxic. It is not non-toxic, it is highly toxic. So statement 2 is absolutely wrong. If statement 2 is absolutely wrong and statement 1 is right, so the answer is C. Clear? So now we'll go to the next question, and the next question is regarding one article that was on the Rohingya Muslims. And again, UPSC has asked a question on Rohingya Muslims, and even today's newspaper there was an article on Rohingya Muslims. That's the reason we have taken up this question. So in this context, we'll be taking up the question. Consider the following statement regarding Rohingya Muslims. So the first statement, Rohingya Muslims are the persecuted minority group residing in Myanmar. Are they the persecuted minority group in Myanmar or Bangladesh? What do you think? They are the persecuted minority group in Myanmar. So exactly where in Myanmar? In Myanmar, this region we call it as Rakhine state, or say Rakhine province. In this Rakhine province, we find this Rohingya Muslims. But however, if you consider this entire Myanmar, the majority community are Buddhist. This Rohingya Muslims are the minority community, and they are persecuted by the majority community as well as the Myanmar government. So this Myanmar, that is the Rohingya Muslims, are in this Rakhine province. So this statement is absolutely right. Rohingya Muslims are persecuted minority group residing in Myanmar. This statement is absolutely right. Where exactly in Myanmar? The Rakhine province or the Rakhine state. Okay, they have been denied citizenship rights by the Myanmar government. Is it true? Have they been denied by the citizenship right by the Myanmar government? This is absolutely true. We know that the Myanmar government is run by the military, so and this military government in Myanmar, that is very brutal against the Rohingya Muslims, and for many of the Rohingya Muslims, they have denied the citizenship rights. So as a reason, they have virtually become a stateless entity. Since they have become a stateless entity, they do not have adequate rights. So the majority community, that is the Buddhist, they are attacking these Rohingya Muslims. So as a reason, the Rohingya Muslims are leaving from their country and either entering into Bangladesh or say towards this side, that is the Southeast Asia side. So this is the situation in Myanmar. So this statement is absolutely right. So what about statement 3? Rohingya Muslims are the beneficiaries of the Citizenship Amendment Act 2019. So the Citizenship Amendment Act 2019, so does it include the Rohingya Muslims? No, it doesn't include the Rohingya Muslims. So basically, Citizenship Amendment Act provides or facilitates the people or say minorities, religious minorities in Afghanistan, Bangladesh and Pakistan. Who are those religious minorities in those countries? That is Hindu, Sikh, Buddhist, Jain, Parsi and Christians. And your Rohingya Muslims or say your Myanmar is not accounted in the Citizenship Amendment Act 2019. So Rohingya Muslims are not a beneficiaries under the Citizenship Amendment Act 2019. So as a reason, they cannot take up Indian citizenship. So this statement is absolutely wrong. That is, Rohingya Muslims are a beneficiary of Citizenship Amendment. They are not. They are not a beneficiary. So both the statements are right. So the answer is B. So second statement, the answer is B. So what about the third statement? Third question. Consider the following question. Consider the following statements is are correct regarding the Competition Commission of India. Again, here please focus here, guys. Competition Commission of India is quite important topic. If you consider this year mains, that is the last year which happened, 2023 mains, we had one direct question on the Competition Commission of India. So it becomes very important. So which of the following statement is correct regarding the Competition Commission of India? And we know that since last 3-4 weeks, there's a tussle between Competition Commission of India and Google, the Google Play Store thing. So in this context, we'll be taking up the question. So the Competition Commission of India is a statutory body responsible for enforcing competition laws in India. Is the Competition Commission of India a statutory body or is it an executive body? The executive bodies are like say Niti Aayog. So the Competition Commission of India, is it a statutory body or executive body? What do you think? It is a statutory body. So which law leads to the formation of Competition Commission of India? It is the Competition Act 2002. The Competition Act 2002 says that we need to have an agency or institution known as Competition Commission of India to enforce the Competition Act 2002. So this Competition CCI is formed under the Competition Act 2002. So the statement is absolutely right. So what about statement 2? Statement 2 is CCI reviews the mergers, acquisition combinations to ensure they do not result in the creation of monopolies or significantly lessen the competition in the market. Does CCI manage or monitor the mergers and acquisitions or both in order to ensure the competition in the Indian market? Do you think what is the business of competition, CCI, to monitor the mergers or acquisition? What's the reason? See what happens if there are two major companies that leads to merger or acquisition. If one company acquires another company, it can lead to monopoly. So that's the reason whenever there's any major mergers or major acquisition that takes place, CCI monitors. So for example, recently we see the Vistara, that is Vistara was merged into Air India, and CCI was monitoring it, and CCI gave green signal for Vistara to be merged into Air India. So again, CCI plays a very important role in terms of merging or acquisition of large companies. So the reason being, if two large companies come together, it will lead to monopoly, or say if one large company keeps acquiring a lot of other companies, it can lead to monopoly and it will affect the competition in India. So in order to avoid that, CCI monitors the merger. If this leads to monopoly, CCI will not allow the merger or acquisition. So this statement is absolutely right. CCI can impose penalties on the companies found to be indulging in anti-competitive practices. Can CCI do that? CCI is a statutory body. CCI has powers to punish any entities who are compromising the competition in Indian market. Say for example, CCI had imposed penalties on Google for compromising the competition in Indian market. So CCI has all the powers under the Competition Act 2002. So if any company is taking efforts to curb the competition in Indian market, then CCI can act against it. So this statement is also right. So the answer would be D. D is the answer. Fine. We'll go to the next question of the day. So the next question is regarding IMF. We know that our neighboring country Pakistan is in economic turmoil. So the Pakistan economy is not doing well. They have knocked the doors of IMF to get some money. So in this context, we will be taking up the question on IMF, and if you see the UPSC previous year question, many times UPSC has asked question on IMF. IMF is one of the favorite topic of UPSC. So because of that, we'll be taking up this question over here. Which of the following statement is correct regarding the IMF, International Monetary Fund? IMF provides a financial assistance to the member countries facing balance of payment problems, or say balance of payment crisis. Does IMF provide financial support to the countries having BOP? Balance of payment is BOP. We call it in economics, we call it as BOP. A BOP crisis or BOP problems. Yes, say for example in 1991 when India was also facing BOP crisis or balance of payment crisis, we knocked the doors of IMF. And by the way, what is this BOP crisis, balance of payment crisis? In simple language, balance of payment crisis means when one country is not able to meet its international financial obligations. When one country is not able to meet its international financial obligations, then that situation is called as balance of payment crisis. So what is international financial obligation? The amount of money that we spend in terms of importing, when it is more than the amount of money that we receive through exporting, so that situation will lead to balance of payment crisis. Or so when we are not able to fund our imports, that situation is called as your BOP crisis. So even India had a BOP crisis in 1991. So this statement is absolutely right. That is, your IMF provides a financial assistance to the member countries facing BOP crisis, or say balance of payment crisis. So statement 2. So IMF is a specialized agency of United Nations focused on economic development. Is IMF a specialized agency? Yes, IMF is one of the specialized agencies. So how many specialized agencies are there? So totally 15 specialized agencies are there. Sometimes we take it as 17, because when we consider World Bank, under World Bank group there are other elements. So totally there are 15 specialized agencies. So sorry, yeah, it is 15 specialized agencies, and one of them is your IMF. IMF is one of the specialized agency. And again, IMF was established at the Bretton Woods Conference, basically in order to ensure that there is no international economic crisis at the global level. So it was established in 1944. So it is one of the specialized agency of UN. So this statement is also absolutely right. IMF publishes, so second statement is right. So third statement, IMF publishes Global Economic Prospect Report. Does IMF publish Global Economic Prospect Report? What do you think? Is it published by IMF? So no, Global Economic Prospect Report, it is published by World Bank. Global Economic Prospect Reports is published by World Bank. Then which report does IMF publish? IMF publishes World Economic Outlook. Don't get confused here. World Economic Outlook is published by your IMF, and your Global Economic Prospects Report is published by your World Bank. So this statement is absolutely wrong. So statement 1 and 2 is right. So then the answer has to be A is the answer. Fine. We'll take up the next question, or the last question of the day. That is your PYQ, previous year question 2020. Steel slag can be the material, can be used, can be the material for which of the following? Steel slag can be used as a material for which of the following? That has to be, I think there's some grammatical error, but that's fine. So steel slag can be used as a material for which of the following? So by the way, what is steel slag? So what is steel slag? So slag means, in basic English, it is a waste, or say impurity or waste, that we call it as a slag. Steel slag means, so we know that this is your steel industry. Steel slag means when we are producing steel, so what happens? There are some impurities. See, the steel, whatever those are, in order to manufacture steel, we use raw materials, and these raw materials will have some impurities. And while the manufacturing the steel, the impurities will be separated. Say this is the impurities that would be separated. This is while manufacturing steel. The impurities that are separated, that would be poured in a empty space, and it would, after cooling, it would become the small pebble or say small stone like thing. So that is called as a steel slag. So steel slag, in simple language, it means that the residues, or say the byproduct that is generated by the manufacturer during the manufacturing or the production of steel. It is the impurities that is that gets created during the generation, or say during the production of the steel. So that is your steel slag. Now the question is, so what, where do we use steel slag? So in simple language, so construction of base road. So does steel slag is used in the construction of base road, or say road? So this is your steel slag. Can steel slag be used in the construction of road? Yes, steel slag is very hard. It is like rock particle. It is very hard. It can be used in the construction of road. So this statement is absolutely right. So what about statement 2? Improvement of agricultural soil. So does steel slag help in the improvement of agricultural soil? Yes, the steel slag has a lot of nutrients in it. Say nutrients like, say, calcium, magnesium, silica. These are the basic nutrients that are essential for the plant's growth. Calcium, magnesium, silica, these are the essential nutrients that for a plant's growth. So when we add silica in when we add the steel slag in the soil, it will aid the plant. So it will help in the plant growth. So this statement is also right. What about statement 3, that is production of cement? Yes, steel slag, so when we grind it properly and in a fine powder, this steel slag can be used in the production of cement. So because steel slag is very strong, it has a lot of binding factor. Steel slag, when after grinding it properly, we can use it in the production of cement. So this statement is also right. So the answer is D. Is it clear? Fine. So the next question, the next topic is the fact of the day. So the fact of the day is regarding your urban heat island. So simple concept, what is urban heat island? So it's urban heat island means it is an effect or a phenomena where the city or the urban area experiences higher temperature than its surrounding rural area. Simple language, urban heat island means when the urban areas has more temperature compared to the rural area around its surrounding. Say if you see this diagram over here, this is a degree Celsius. So this is around urban area, the temperature is very high. So around urban area, the temperature is very high. But whereas if you see this rural area, the temperatures are not so high compared to the urban area. So this concept is called as urban heat island. So what are the effects, what are the causes for this urban heat island? How do we have this urban heat island? There are two, or say there are three important reasons for this urban heat island. One of the reason why urban heat island, in the sense why the temperature in the urban area is very high compared to its surrounding rural area. What's the reason? So why do we have urban heat island? The main reason is being the urban infrastructure in itself. The materials that we use in urban infrastructures are like, say, your building materials, your road materials, these materials, also even glass buildings. So even the glass buildings, what happens, these materials will absorb a lot of heat. So a lot of solar insolation gets absorbed by the urban infrastructure materials. So as a reason, the overall temperature in the urban area increases. This is the first main reason. that is the material used in the urban infrastructures, absorbs a lot of heat, that increases the temperature. So that is one reason. And the next reason is urban, that is reduced vegetation, and we know that urban areas are infamous for cutting off trees and plants. So in order to construct infrastructure, so your urban areas are called as concrete jungles. But what happens, why the temperature in rural area, or say even in forest area, the temperature is low? Because of evapotranspiration. What is evapotranspiration? Evapotranspiration is the release of moisture from the leaves of plants or trees. Say if in this atmosphere, if we have more moisture, automatically the temperature will come down. So if the plants and trees releases more moisture in the atmosphere, the temperature will automatically come down. But whereas in your urban areas, we do not have adequate plants and trees. So as a reason, overall the temperature increases because there is no evapotranspiration properly. If there is evapotranspiration, the plants and trees will release the moisture in the atmosphere. It will cool down the temperature. That is the reason when you go near the forest or near the garden or park, the overall temperature will be low because of evapotranspiration. But in urban areas, the green cover is very low, so the evapotranspiration is low. This increases the temperature. And the last reason is that the human activities, say human activities like say transportation or say industries, this releases greenhouse gases, say all the GHG gases, GHG. So when there is GHG gases, it absorbs a lot of heat. So due to human activities like burning of fossil fuel or say industries, it releases greenhouse gases, and this greenhouse gases absorbs the heat. As a reason, the overall temperature in the urban area increases. So these are the causes for urban heat island. So urban heat island, simple language, the temperature of the urban area is more compared to the surrounding rural areas. So that is your urban heat island, and these are the causes for it. And so that is the end of your topic. And so thank you guys.